All right. Welcome to my weekly review. You're looking at Duolingo. I'm just going to show some of the leading stocks and some of the leading groups and show some stocks from MC stock charts, which are, we own or we like. And this is definitely one of them, Duolingo. You can see this had a nice uptrend and then consolidated, pulled back below the 50 and did the Debo, just put its foot in the ground, just went boom the other way. This went down on Chegg reports saying that Chat GPT was taking market share. Some of these CEOs are creative with their excuses. And Duolingo reported last week like no such thing. And so congrats to the longs, right? That thing still looks good. Spotify is one that's in this group too, the computer software education media, and these two dominate this industry group. Here's Spotify. You can see we had this on our watch list here as it had this big base pull back to the moving average, and then it's just kind of taking off here. Nice pullback here on Friday, but Spotify looks good. So congrats to the longs there. And then I gotta mention the home builders here. Pulte Homes. They're building a lot of homes in our area. They're busy. Anyway, you can see this nice base here. If I want to look at the weekly, it's a weekly review. I should. She gets base on base and on another base, and then it just took off finally. Yeah, surprising to see these home builders showing all this strength, but that did not take long. It's just a cup pattern without the handle. It just said see you later. Of course, you got to show GRBK because this one just ramped higher. Coming out of this base, you can see that it closed at the high of its daily range on like 5 consecutive days and finally pulled back the last couple sessions. So congrats to the longs there. You cannot chase that stuff. TPH, this one, it's a weekly report. Got to remember, look at the weeklies. Anyway, you can see this big long base, the bigger the base, the higher in space. And this one broke out and is just trending higher. Pull back right here, this little wedge pattern here. Got to watch for this when they break out. Sometimes they pull back to the 21 there and get support, and then boom, another nice move. What other ones? Oh, DHI. We had this one on our watch list. I got to show you the weekly on this one. This is a beautiful weekly chart. And then another consolidation after that big base, which is where we had it here at 97. This little shakeout, and then boom, nice move. Now it's forming a little shelf there. And KB Homes is another one we had on our watch list at MC Stock Charts. This is pretty obvious here. Cup, and then nice pullback to the 21, and then bang higher. Not a fast moving stock, but you take a 38 to 45 move anytime. Okay, that's enough for those. I got to get to the restaurants because I'm getting hungry. This is another one of the leading industry groups, SHAK. Never been there. I hear they're pretty decent. We have In-N-Out here on the West Coast, but you can see the consolidation period within the base. You got the uptrend, the consolidation, just kind of trading around within the base. Then it pulls back below the 50, and then this is, I believe, an earnings move. And now it's going sideways, allowing the moving averages to catch up. So congrats to the longs. At Shake Shack Wing is one that we had on our watch list, ready list, and one of the leading stocks, I believe, in this group. And you can see this. We've seen a lot of these in the software names, just like ski slope, waterfall type action. And then they stop going down. And once they stop going down, sometimes they go up. Here's a nice little base here from Wingstop. I forget. Yeah, I think we had it like 175. It's been a while, maybe higher. I'm not sure, but there's these nice pullbacks here, these little bull wedge patterns, and the rip higher, then it pulls back again. So Wing, another one we like. I've got to get to all these. I have a lot of them, so I can't be dilly-dallying here. Chipotle Mexican Grill, the Flying Burrito. This one, look at the weekly. This has been a winner for a long time. This is a nice base here, and you can see the double bottom pattern before breaking out on earnings here. This nice gap higher, forming a power earnings gap, and just kind of forming a shelf here as the moving averages catch up. So congrats to the longs there. The next group I need to get to is the solar group. I typically, solar was, good for a long, long time, but they kind of fell out of favor recently. First Solar, I think this is an earnings, they had a terrible earnings report. Now they bought a company like 80 million, the stock had like I want to say about an 8 billion market cap boost for an 80 million buy. Kind of seems irrational, maybe short covering, I don't know, but you gotta can't ignore that kind of move, Dan. Congrats to the longs there. MAXN is another one in the solar group that it's consolidated within this base here, pulled back. It's below the 50, and then stocks that gap up like that have a tendency to gap, and it gapped again last week here as it pulled back to the 50. So this thing has a distinct pattern, is when it pulls back, it rips higher, pulls back, rips higher. So keep your eye on that one. And the last one in this group is ARRY, because a lot of these stocks are weak, and ARRY's been consolidating for a long time. It was a big winner for a long time here, this big run, but now it's just kind of gone sideways here. So maybe it'll come back to life. As we look at the daily chart, consolidation within a base, trades below the 50, and now just ramps above it. So keep your eye on that one. Kind of like an ARRY for my watch list. Let's get to the drug stocks. The drugs. Novo Nordisk, this has been a big winner for a long, long time. I don't know, I've told the story, one of my buddies told me in the 90s, way back, in the late 90s, that, his thesis was the world was getting more obese. And this is a play on that. And it certainly has proven to be true. I wish I would have bought more back then, but I didn't. And you can't limit that. You just know that this is a winning stock, nice, strong sales and earnings growth. They raised guidance recently. Their Ozempic and Wegovy drugs are just powerful sales drivers. This had the consolidation that we talk about, big consolidation pattern here, pulled back, and then just ripped higher. Did not even form a handle here, just nice uptrend. Consolidate a little bit, traded below the 50 here, and that was a gift, after the breakout of the base. First time pullback to the 50 here, another pullback here. And do we get another one here? No, it traded below the 21, but just trending higher. This stock is a just trend trader's dream. Lilly is doing well too, but I'm not going to get to Lilly. I have too many other stocks to get to. TGTX. This is one that I entered in Cubby's stock of the year, whatever. It had an uptrend and then consolidated within a base, which we like, had this nice pullback to that, buy point, and then just ramped higher. I think it was an earnings. They had strong earnings. Anyway, you got to take some off the table. And now it's starting to wedge back again here. So we'll see if it provides another buy point for us. VKTX, this is another one that gapped higher on a phase 1 trial and is just trending beautifully, finding support at the 10. And if they're going to, before June 30th, they're going to report phase 2 trial. And if they show positive data, this thing's going to rip higher. Anyway, I'm going to look at some stocks that, at MC stock charts that are on our leading stock lists that have been showing strength here. This is SMCI. It's an earnings gap up, and now it's just kind of drifting back to its moving average. That one looks really strong. Celsius, this is on our leading stock list. Last year fell off when it, not even last year, recently, when it sliced its 50. Anyway, formed this nice base on base pattern and ramp with a nice earnings report. Triple-digit earnings growth and 95% sales growth. That'll get a stock moving. So congrats to the longs there. LNTH is another one, just, ramping higher. This is, it's really distinct pattern here. These little wedge pullbacks, just wedges back to moving average. Those are opportunities. Hopefully it'll do it again soon. Give us another opportunity. Shockwave, they reported earnings last Monday. It's kind of a whipsaw action, but this thing looks nice and should still be on the watch list here, even though we had an early entry about 280 or whatever. Now it's near 300. I imagine it's going to have trouble with 300 and just kind of wiggle around here for a little bit, but who knows? Maybe it'll ramp higher. Maybe it'll fall apart. Who knows? Just take it one day at a time. This one is they got FDA clearance for their X-ray machines and just ramped higher. You can see the volume here. This is not to be ignored either. Dan. IMGN, one more. Last one for the week here, this ramp tire, and it's just trading sideways, allowing the moving averages to catch up, and those we do not ignore. Anyway, that's my weekly review. We never give up.